Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, the live stream and the podcast, and of course, the Portugal Club, where we'll go this morning, where we have all the fun hacks and facts of living our best lives here in Portugal, and of course, the Portuguese citizenship test. Question number, what is it this morning? 48, everybody. And it's a regal one, a royal one that connects England and Portugal, and in particular, a particular wedding, a union of two high-ups in each of those respective societies, from which I believe the British habit of tea drinking was born, as a little bit of a clue to you. Later on this morning, the first of our... Well, we had a chat with Richard Allen last month. This month, we're really getting into it, talking about live music, music in general in Portugal, what's happening in Portugal, and our efforts to encourage the live music scene and promote what's going on musically around Portugal. And a very special guest, Christopher Maloney. You know, we played one of his, well, I think more than one, maybe two or three of his videos, his new releases that are videos. His songs are released as videos that centre around his life in Portugal. He's an American musician, a very excellent and accomplished one at that. He's made his life here in Portugal, and he's releasing new material with fantastic videos he's made in and around the Coimbra area where he lives. So we'll be chatting to him later on in the show and having a chat with Richard about what's going on the live music scene, what's caught his attention. So why not tell us what's caught yours as well? Some amazing artists joining the recent visits from globally renowned artists. We have a great musical scene here, obviously, here in Portugal, and we're learning more about that at the Portugal Club under the tutelage of the great Antonio F. Lots of great music to discover here in Portugal over the last few decades. Really excellent music, and I'm sure if you haven't scratched that surface, you'll be surprised. So give that a go at the Portugal Club and Antonio F's Guide to Portuguese Music. And also just recently, we seem to have had some visits from some top recording artists from around the world as well. And that trend seems to be continuing. So we'll highlight a few of those with what's going on. And if you've got a particular favourite, obviously music is a very subjective thing. And we would love to hear from you and your particular favourites, and why not blow their trumpet, as it were, and let us know who you're going to see, listen to, and enjoy. Who you're listening to on your listening device. What's the most recent vinyl you've bought? What's on heavy rotation on your vintage turntable, or what are you subjecting everyone else to on the speaker of your mobile phone whenever you travel on public transport? I'm sure nobody from our community does that, right? We've got a little thread over at the Portugal Club, which I'm hastily trying to find now, having just remembered that. The Portugal playlist, I think it's an updated thread by that name. Yeah, Portugal playlist, up music. Up your music, updated thread of new music, old favourites, and gig news as well there. And as I look to the more recent additions there, I do notice that somebody whose music we loved playing when we were experimenting with the idea of playing music, that Talking Heads frontman, he's coming to Portugal. The Cure as well. There was a notable birthday of it was quite a surprise to me. A frontman of Adam and the Ants, Stuart Goddard, 71, just recently still rocking as well. There's a Mark Almond connection of Soft Cell. Sadly, we lost his musical partner just in the last couple of weeks, David Ball. But Mark Almond has a connection with Portugal. And Clive Gardner, our very own Clive Gardner, has a new soul. If you like soul music, Clive Gardner has a new soul show, the London Soul Patrol, on Street Sounds Radio, which is a UK radio station based around that same record label for those who love soul, funk and hip hop. Well done, Clive, on your debut show for that great empire of celebration, really, of a lot of American music, Black American music, and some British music as well, the best of Black British music as well, being celebrated at Street Sounds Radio. If you like that sort of thing, you might be surprised and delighted to hear that Street Sounds Radio are broadcasting 24/7, that sort of stuff. So if you're a funketeer back in the 70s and 80s, you'll be delighted by that. Anyway, we shall return to that musical coverage a little bit later on, and we will welcome Christopher Maloney and Richard Allen to the screen, and delighted to hear about your musical news as well. Good morning to you, Jackie, to Mel, to Adrian and T-Duck, who are in so far. Jackie was in nice and early. just as I was stirring myself to be here, Jackie. Which conjures up images of a big spoon, doesn't it? But who doesn't like a big spoon first thing in the morning? Big Bon dia Gumpers from a rainy UK. From you, Jackie. How's it? How are you doing over there? A bit chilly, is it? A bit chilly and wet. Bon dia Alegria Gumpers. I think we might have put the storm behind us. I'm not seeing a weather warning here in Portugal this morning, but some serious rain yesterday. And perhaps foolishly, in retrospect, I drove back along the Atlantic Road coming from Caldas de Rainha to San Martino de Porto yesterday, and the rain was coming in horizontally from the sea. It was quite terrifying. You know, when you wish you'd had another extra speed on your windscreen wipers because they're just not cutting the mustard, as it were. Muito chuva. And I thought I'd have a little fun with the kids as well. Open the back window, let all the rain come in as well. And the kids were screaming. I think they were loving it. Adrian, morning to you. Bon dia. Mike, good morning to you. Bon dia, Gumpers. And bon dia from Mel as well. Hey, T-Duck, how you doing? Special hi from Jackie. Looks like my best mate moving with me to Portugal in spring. I'm overjoyed. That's fantastic, Jackie. Is that your sister and your best mate now? Now, the food rationing has started. People are going to be rushing to leave UK faster than what? Food rationing has begun. In the Second World War ended a long time ago. Jackie, what is going on here? Blimey, what? So some 80 years later, rationing was just temporarily stopped, and it's back in fashion now. Tell us more about that. What's going on in the UK? What did I miss? I actually berate myself for being too interested in what's going on back in the UK, perhaps listening to such prophets of doom and doom mongerers as LBC, finding out the latest jaw-dropping thing that's happening in my native country. And obviously with a pinch of salt, because when you listen to a particularly focused lens of reporting, it's going to be all the worst stuff. It's like looking at X, isn't it? X, I quite like it in a way, and I do find it very useful in many ways. Oh, yeah. Last night, for example, on the Positive Echo show, Gary and I talk about the Positive Echo, the legacy people will be leaving in their wake and their contribution to life and society. We talk to someone great pretty much every other week on that show. And I thought, okay, yesterday our guest Stephen couldn't join us. He wrote a book on legacy. His legacy is writing a book about legacy, funnily enough. He couldn't join us, sadly. Anna was on, and she was the recipient of, or she will be the recipient of, the first Positive Echo Award. And she was updating us on the project that she was working on that got closed, but has come to the attention of the British Parliament. So she was chuffed. We were chuffed to talk to her. But also, it's one thing to think about the Positive Echo, the pebble in the pond and the ripples that come from it, or the echo that comes back, the Positive Echo itself, as you yodel your goodness across the valley. But what about the valley? What about the pond? What's the context? So I asked Grok what were the geopolitical, technical, social, and political trends that were happening over the next 5 years. And I was quite shocked. It's really good for that sort of stuff. And that will actually be the focus of Good Morning Portugal from 2026. I think we're up for a very interesting 5 years ahead of us. And I think we should be at the forefront of not only keeping an eye on that and discussing it, but how we prepare ourselves. It's our world too, and how we adjust ourselves, our focus, our intentions, our hopes. It's really important, I think. It's really important to have that conversation and to decide together how we wish to live, despite or because of and including what's heading our way, with some of the bonkers things that are happening in the world at the moment. So I think we should be riding that wave, but you can't ride the wave unless you look at the weather forecast. So Grok is good for things like that, and AI is good for things like that, of course. And I can't remember where I was going with this conversation now. No, sorry, I've lost it. But anyway, some very interesting stuff that came up, which I'll be talking more about. And yeah, and that'll be our focus. Portugal 2030, basically, from 2026 onwards. I think this is going to be a very spicy, very interesting 5 years ahead of us for humanity, basically. And I think we should keep a close eye on that. Citizenship test question to come then. Richard Allen joining us at about 20 past. Christopher Maloney later on in the show. Can't remember what I was talking about, but your internet keeps dropping, does it, Jimmy? Now, is that a residue of the full moon and the stormy weather we've been having here in Portugal? Why would you mention Catherine de Bragança there, Adrian? It's as if you know what's happening with the citizenship test this morning. Reputed to have introduced or at least popularised tea drinking. Yeah, all the Brits were drinking beer and gin, weren't they? up until that point. So my sister may join later. Okay, so best mate and sister. That's going to be quite the gang, isn't it, to bump into in central Portugal? Yes, the rationing is starting in Tesco, and they are starting to put carbon points on stuff. Sadly, I'm not kidding, says Jackie. Spicy indeed. Yes, spicy 5 years incoming, folks. They're saying it's because of a poor harvest. If they try limiting my chocolate, England will once again be nervous of an angry Welsh woman. Who was the last one? Excuse me. Stop it, Jackie. I hope you're well. Pete's here, wishing good greetings to Jackie, T-Duck, and Adrian this morning. I hope you're all having a good week. I think we are we not? Bon dia, Pete, from Jackie, of course, as well there. Tonight, looking at investments with Holborn Assets on behalf of Expats Portugal tonight at 7:30. Did come up of savings vehicles with the amazing Pedro Franco, the taxation advisor of EI, last week in conversation on the Dream Team session. It'll be the premium lounge tonight for you Expats Portugal members from 9. Great session, hanging out with Expats Portugal members and facilitating an always interesting discussion. But Pedro Franco, when asked about what savings vehicles are there, because you don't get any interest, they charge you, of course, don't they, to have a bank account here in Portugal, and they don't give you any interest. And savings accounts don't really attract much today. It's pointless. I mean, your money's just going to be diminishing in value, isn't it? And they give you a paltry amount which barely keeps up with inflation in a savings account. He mentioned bonds, Portuguese bonds, which are seen as quite a good bet, if you like. It's not financial advice, but he also mentioned, actually, interestingly, and this might be part of the spicy times ahead, Portugal has one of the biggest gold reserves in the world. I think, per capita, pound for pound, as it were. Sorry to mix up my my currency metaphors there, but you get the gist. There seems to be quite a lot of Portuguese gold, and if not for some idiotic political behaviour a couple of decades ago, apparently, it would have even more. Some of it was sold off, but it has quite a good gold reserve, which, as I understand it from people who know about these things, that's quite a good sign for a society. Although it may well be, I don't know, how do I put this? It might be part of the European Union relationship, mightn't it? It might be seen as collective gold rather than Portugal's own sovereign gold and what might back its currency, because it doesn't have a currency, does it? It has the euro now as part of the bigger union. Okay, I hope you are well this morning. Let us know what you're thinking, doing music-wise. T-Duck and I looking at David Byrne and thinking that would be amazing, but we don't want to go to a gig, quite frankly. I don't mind going to gigs occasionally. How are you on that? I know that a lot of people who come to Portugal are thinking of festas when they think about gigs these days. But have you been to see any big bands recently? And how was it? We know Mel has been to see her beloved Cat Empire. And when we were playing music, we were discovering, weren't we, loads of great bands coming to Portugal. That is continuing for sure. China is where all the gold is. Just go anywhere in Asia and you can see how all that glitters or all that glisters is not gold, but it would appear nonetheless. Shakespeare said that, didn't he? And it was glisters, I believe is what he actually said, rather than glitters. Point of order, teacher. It would appear then, according to Pete, that the gold that got sold off has ended up in China. The Cure are coming. Just looking that festival up now. Yeah, we're on to that one there, Mel. And if you want some other starters for 10 on that, let me put the thread from the Portugal Club where we're bringing together all the great music that's coming to Portugal in one place. That's going into the chat right now. Still haven't got my Control V back. I don't know what happened to that. Must be some... I think I do know what... Well, my suspicion is that a cat walked across my keyboard and disabled that feature, perhaps. Even if it did or it didn't, I'm blaming the cat because he's got plenty of form. They all have, 4 of them, wandering about the house causing trouble. Chemical Brothers are playing next weekend. That sounds cool. Says, I think they're not sure if you're responding to The Cure or the Chemical Brothers there, but both, I think, to fans of the music of The Cure and the Chemical Brothers, obviously there. So yeah, I think that's right. Great music coming to Portugal, and all the bands we used to like as youngsters, they're coming back in their 60s and 70s now, aren't they? Adaman on stage at 71. He's looking great, actually. I know he's had his challenges and troubles, and I don't think they've been to do with drink and drugs necessarily. And he is still rocking, Adam and the Ants. I don't know how many of the original Ants are with him. Marco, Merrick, Terry Lee. Were the lyrics from Ant Music or from that album anyway? Goodness gracious, that was one of the first albums I had. Adam and the Ants, Kings of the Wild Frontier. Well done, good to see you, Stuart, rocking at 71. Amazing. Simply Live Mel. You will not be disappointed if you go to see The Cure. I've seen them 9 times. Met Rob and his missus, and wow, have you got a photo of the doll that you've got of Rob from the Cure? I'd love to see that, Jackie. I hope you took a photo and you'll send it to us on 913-590-303. Quick, let's do this Portuguese citizenship test then before we have Rich join us, and then after that Christopher Maloney. The Portugal Club question then for today, number 48, folks. And Adrian definitely ahead of the curve here when it comes to the citizenship test question today. We're helping you get up to speed on Portuguese culture, such that you might be a bit of an authority and have some knowledge should you ever be asked to do a Portuguese citizenship test. Was it? The answer is either Catherine Braganza, Maria I, or Leonor of Aragon. The question is, which Portuguese queen was married to King Charles II of England? So, yes, was it A, Catherine of Braganza? Was it B, Maria I? Or was it C, Leonor of Aragon? So I think Adrian's given you a bit of a clue in the chat. And I suspect as well, given the wonderful contribution of whoever it was when they went to England, and it was along the lines of tea, was it not? Because when she was asked, the right answer here, that particular queen, when she was asked, would you like some beer, gin, or whatever it was that the British were drinking, the English were drinking at the time, and they haven't really changed much, let's face it, since then, she asked for tea. And the word cha, I think we got from her being in England as well. So let me know what you think on that. Let's have a look. A couple more comments then before we go to Rich. Enjoying the Portuguese sunshine after the rain, I think. Sat in his garden this morning. That's nice to see. So you won't be disappointed if you go and see The Cure, says Jackie. I've got pics of the doll, but they're in my storage unit. Okay, when we have coffee for the first time here in Portugal, or something a little stronger perhaps, Jackie, I hope I'll be able to see that photo. That'll be brilliant, and we'll show it on the show soon after that. Really like the Chemical Brothers, but I'm done with big loud shows for this lifetime. If there was one more gig that you would go make the effort to go to, T-Duck, what would it be? Where you just thought to yourself, I can't miss this. Doesn't matter if I am going to take 3 weeks to recover. They are all ancient nowadays, the bands we're talking about. I've seen some pretty terrible gigs due to the care home nature of the performance. Oh, stop it, Pete. John Lee Hooker only played 2 songs. Well, that's 2 more than you're expecting. Right. Sammy the Salmon, who's that? Not heard of them. Have to admit that I was halfway to organising it and then thought, meh. What? Oh, I see. Going to a gig, and one more gig. Yeah, it would be Mark Knopfler. So Mark Knopfler has the power, and that question applies to everybody else. If you're a bit sort of, I think I'm all partied out. I went to 2 festas this year. Which artist would actually get you out past 9 o'clock in the evening? Because they won't be coming on till 11 or so, will they? I don't know if that's the case actually with international artists, whether they observe the Portuguese rules. I haven't been to enough international gigs to know that. Anyway, there's your Portuguese citizenship test question. Number 48. Let's give him a nice big round of applause and bring him onto the screen, which gives me a chance to have a nice sip of my beautiful cup of tea, which is connected to the citizenship test question this morning. It's Richard Allen, everybody. Hey up, Rich.
Good morning, Carl. Good morning.
How are you? You're used to a bit of applause, aren't you? What's it like when you're on stage, Rich, and you get a nice round of applause from the audience?
You can't beat it, to be honest with you. I think when you've got an audience that's really with you and you're getting everybody up and dancing, then that's really it's my happy place for definite.
Oh, love it. Love it. Sounds great. Well, thank you for being here. I'm great. I hope you are too. How you been?
Yeah, very well. Very busy. Lots going on. There seems to be an abundance of things since our last chat that have sort of exploded onto the scene. A whole new group of bands, things to listen to, places to go. So it's actually been really interesting. Probably coincidental, but nevertheless interesting in terms of what now is available and some of the exciting. You talked about international concerts and things like that. couple of really good ones coming up in Lisbon soon, and yeah, lots to talk about.
Fantastic. You say coincidental. I think we're partly to blame for this, don't you? We should take some credit, right?
I hope so. I hope so. I don't know so, but I hope so. Yeah.
Very good.
It
Well,
would be.
we've got Maloney joining us soon, so there's no reason why we shouldn't. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm trying to bring up my notes as well onto the screen that I've been putting at the Portugal Club. Let me find those then, while you whet our appetite with some of the forthcoming attractions that you've become aware of.
Yeah, I mean, what we could do is perhaps just start with some of the smaller events, more local people. One in particular I want to highlight. Excuse me, if you remember last time, I wanted to sort of pick on one or two small new bands which were coming out that really warrant some attention. But
Cool.
before I do that, let's have a look at what's on at the moment in the Caldash Silver Coast area. We've got some great jazz from a band called Jazzistico. They're playing various gigs all over the region, but they're actually more local. The guy, the main guy behind the band, is from Foz de Laredo, and they're Jazzistico, and they're playing in Trombone tonight.
Oh,
So
that's a great little
yeah,
venue, isn't it?
yeah. So that's really cool. We've also got Jam Shack. This is a very exciting project. Jamie Hutchins, ex of, well, not ex, I think they're still going now, Blowout, played with Nelson, the famous Nelson Rodriguez that everybody knows.
We must get him on.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legend. He is a legend. He really is. So Jamie's joined up with Brimble Collins, who's a seasoned 50-year percussionist from the States who's moved here now for some years. They've got together with another couple, and they play as Jam Shack, and they're actually playing their first big Sunday gig. I think they've only done one or two gigs before, on November the 30th at the Prohibition Bar. Give that one a plug too.
Yeah.
We've got Margarita Anna. She's a fado singer, absolutely wonderful, and you can hear her most weekends at the Market Square in Caldash.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, she's very good. Yeah, plays with a different set of guitarists. Some using the guitar, the traditional guitar, and others the normal guitar. And then Rodrigo Lightao. I don't know if you've come across this guy, but an incredible talent. Mostly covers, but a brilliant musician, solo artist, uses looping technology and things like that. Really, really good. He's playing at the San Siro Sports Bar on the 7th of the 11th. And he's playing in Surfers Lodge on 8th of the 11th. And then he'll be again at the Home Baleal on the 15th of the 11th. Really, really worth a watch.
Lovely.
Now, the one,
These, Rich.
yeah, sorry.
No, just saying this is fantastic. This is absolutely wonderful. Like, things are calming down, cooling down for the winter. It definitely feels quieter, doesn't it, in our sort of tourist focused towns that we live in. But how lovely to be able to get a nice warm evening in a bar, in a venue, a nice drink, maybe something to eat, and watch these fantastic bands that you're presenting to us.
Yeah, I think that I was really surprised at when I really dug into what is on. There is lots more on than I actually even realised, and
Brilliant.
I was really very, very surprised. The band I want to really focus on and give a big plug to is a band called Salt West Acoustic. They can be found on Instagram at salt.west. They're a
Okay.
Portuguese Brazilian musical duo. They bring a harmonica and two guitars. They're very, very different. And I think they've only got like 171 followers on Instagram. They should have 17,000 followers on Instagram. They are genuinely really, really good. Very soulful. It's not fado. There are some traditional songs, but a lot more of it's a lot more upbeat. But traditional stuff, and you don't really get to see a lot of that. You may have Pedrino Brazaduo that was. in the area. He's very, very good as always. But these guys are something a bit different, and I'd highly recommend them. You can see them in Nadadoro Concerto on the 8th of November. So that's one for your diaries. Definitely do that one and follow them on Instagram or Facebook.
Mate, I've got it on the screen now. What is another Doro? What is that
Yeah,
venue? I've not heard of that.
yeah. Well, this is the thing, because I had no idea either, and when this came up, I was like, what is this? So it's Lago da Igreja do
Okay.
Nadadouro.
Okay.
And to me, it was like, I didn't know where this was. I didn't know what it was. But I'd seen these guys play before. And
Yeah.
I thought, well, brilliant. 8th of November, that's just coming up. Go and see them. So you'll need to do a bit of research, because I can't really find out the exact location of this. But I'm sure if you look that up, you will be able to find it. It's actually listed under Caudasturania, what's on. So you can
Mate, I
find
found
it
it.
there.
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep up with you and putting the links on the screen because I'm just loving all this treasure that you've unearthed. So maybe you could send me these
we
notes. If you
found a
send them to
bit.
me on WhatsApp, I'll transfer them
Yeah,
across.
I'll send everything across to you, and then you
Bless you.
can
Yeah,
put it up
great.
there. So then, if we move perhaps to some bigger events, if we look into, we've got Zeca Pogadino playing. He's a very famous Brazilian guy that plays. He's on the Campo Pequeno. Um, Interesting if you like your sort of Latin salsa, very, very big following. He'll be coming up,
Ooh.
although there seems to be a query on the date at the moment, but it looks like, what are we today? We are now he's on tonight, I believe. So hurry up and get down to the the Campo Pequeno, because that's on at 2100 hours tonight. Um,
Wow.
we we then have on the 16th of November. I think this is really exciting. I didn't even know this band was still going. We have One Republic playing
Right.
playing at the Mio Arena as well. So they're playing
Right.
at the big venue. Um, so that's obviously the old Altis Arena, but Mio Arena on the 16th of November. Doors or performances start at 19:30, and then probably the big one for me. I'm going to miss this because it's the day before my birthday and I'm not here. Mumford and Sons are
No
coming to
way.
the Campo Pequeno on the 25th of November, 8 o'clock start. So some really
Tremendous.
great stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, that honestly is just a flavour of
Yeah.
what is available. You've still got the likes of Cabaret Voltaire, One Bar in Torrish. You've got Leiria, where you have the square music. That's all on as usual at the moment. Weather providing on a lot of those, but obviously not the indoor venues. Perhaps just to sort of round up this little summary of what's on, the Prohibition Bar, which obviously I've obviously got an interest in, but I really do want to push a band called Amy and the Soul Providers. They're a
Okay.
brand new band, 5-piece. They're made up of some experienced musicians and some less experienced musicians, but the singer, who has really never sang professionally or in bands before, has the most wonderful voice. I mean, she sings like an angel, honestly. They're doing a ticketed event at the Prohibition Bar this Saturday. It's €5 to get in. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this is all received, especially following our conversation last time about charging for music. It's a
Yes.
different format, and this is why I want to highlight it. The band is going to get all of the ticketed money. So,
Right.
irrespective of what's raised, they get the money. Now, at the moment, they've sold well over 150 tickets. So, let's hope on the day that goes up to 200. If it does, that'll be the first time, probably in this area, that band members are actually going to earn €200 a piece to play very high quality music. And I think that really is groundbreaking.
Very good.
So So we'll see what happens. We'll see how many turn up. The weather forecast is good, but music and fun, they're being supported by Magic Overdrive, which is a great Hendrix sort of cover band, amongst others. And they kick off at 1:30, and then Amy and the Soul Providers will be on after that. You really want to listen to this lady, because she really can sing beautifully.
Wonderful. This is great news. All we had to do was start a podcast, and all of this has happened. Only kidding. But it's nice to be part of this, isn't it? Jackie's saying here, equally inspired, even though not in Portugal just yet. Even though I'm not there, I'm finding this fascinating. It's fantastic to hear of so much local music and entertainment going on. Really heartwarming. Viro Vadio seem to be a very cool local band which plays around Central Portugal there. Thank you for that. And for classical as well, don't forget the Gulbenkian. We have season tickets to the symphony, says Tito. This is our 4th year, Mozart and Mahler on Friday. Something for everyone. Amazing. So we'll talk about more about these bands, the gigs, the scene after we've chatted to our guest this morning, and I'm sure we'll have more of the artists we've spoken of joining us on the screen. And starting that trend is Christopher Maloney this morning. And looking at his Wikipedia, American singer-songwriter, bass guitarist, and music educator. Very interested to talk to him about that part of his work and having moved here to Portugal. Widely known for instrumental hard rock band Cosmo Squad and stints with Hardline and with Dweezil Zappa as well. And an amazing career as a freelance bass player in LA. Just saying freelance bass player in LA just sounds so cool. And he'll tell us, I think, some of the people he's hung out with on that calling card. So let's give him a nice big round of applause and bring him onto the screen. Christopher Maloney, everybody. Olá, bom dia. Tudo bem, Christopher?
Olá, tudo bem? E vocês?
Muito bem, obrigado. All the better for seeing you and looking forward to having a chat with you. You came to our attention via Debbie in Coimbra. You've moved to Portugal, it would appear. I'd love to talk to you about that and whether you're finding it inspiring for your music. It seems to be the case because you're producing all these brilliant videos around that area that are coming out with the music you're releasing here. So welcome to the Good Morning Portugal show. Me and Rich are excited to talk to you. How did you get to be in Portugal in the first place?
That's a great question. My wife and I were running a music school in Florida. We had left Los Angeles in 2009 and looking for new challenges. And we decided, let's be true entrepreneurs and start a music school. And we did that for about maybe 13 years. And I came up with a concept called Practice Warriors, which is an online music education site. And there's tons of those, but what we do is we specifically focus on practice strategies. You know, your music teacher says, okay, I just taught you a scale, go home and practice it. Well, how do I practice it? I mean, it's boring. What are some strategies I can use to play this? Can I play it in thirds? Can I play it in sequences? And we basically just give people individual ideas of how to practice. When that concept came to us, we thought, well, shoot, this is going to be the future because we can affect people all over the world by teaching and convincing everyone that they could be great musicians. And so at that moment, our days in our school were numbered because we knew sort of this was the direction of our life. And the cool thing with that is we could do that anywhere. We could build and run an online music site from anywhere in the world. And that opened up possibilities for us. And that's why we started to look into where we should move. Like a lot of other people, we looked at all the, kind of more affordable places to live, maybe Southeast Asia, Central America. But we really had our eyes on Europe, but we didn't want to be cold. So that takes like 90% of Europe off the map. And we looked really into southern Spain and Portugal. We did a good little shootout between the two. We did a 6-week scouting trip in Portugal in 2022. Fell in love with it, fell in love with the Coimbra region. And then we moved here in August of 23.
And it really looks like it's suiting you. Rich, are you able to hear all right? I thought you sounded like you have a bit of a technical problem there.
No, I'm really sorry. Good morning. I don't know if you can hear me, but I didn't hear any of that at all.
Oh, what a shame! You'll have to watch the replay. You'll have to watch the replay,
Yeah.
and I will transfer, bring across salient points to you, Richard. I'm not sure what's happening there. I'm hoping our audience can hear what Christopher's saying. I was just about to say, Christopher, it seems to be suiting you. You're producing music here in Portugal. Have you found it an inspiring backdrop? And absolutely love your videos.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that very much, Carl. Richard, sorry you can't hear me. Maybe I'll do a sign. He's getting the picture. He's getting the picture.
Use your musician
Sadly,
mate.
I can hear Carl, and I'd much rather listen to you, Christopher. I'll be honest with you, but I can't hear a bloody thing.
Oh dear, what a
That's
shame.
right.
Maybe plug some headphones in. Have you got any little earbuds or something you could plug in? That might work.
It's possible. I'll go and get some.
Go get your
There you
earbuds.
go.
I'll have a chat with Christopher here. Yeah. So yeah, are you finding it a conducive and creative environment over here?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful environment. The challenge is more with me, trying to figure out, what is an important, what's important for me at this stage of my life.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're working on Practice Warriors and getting people to get excited about their musical journey. And then, where did my own personal music fall into place? Because I had not released an album of my music for 20 years. And I was creatively busy with my school in Florida, creatively busy with Practice Warriors. The music on the new album, I've been playing that music live since 2016. So it was really, I think what the impetus was, I had a former student contact me and said he wanted to help me produce some music for him. And I got back into recording and I'm like, let me go back and listen to these old demos I made of my songs and see which ones are like really close to being ready. And I found about 10 of them and I'm like, I'm going to get this record done. I want people to hear these songs. I'm proud of these songs. And so really, I can't say that it was being here in Portugal that inspired the music. I think it was sort of like, what is music going to be to me now? And I think that student calling me up and inspiring me to finish my songs was really what pushed those to come out. But having said that, even though the music was already written, the videos, the visual representation of the music was absolutely inspired by Portugal and specifically with Coimbra. And as you've seen, anyone who watches the videos, I think all but 2 of them are featuring either Coimbra or Figueira de Foz. And we really wanted to make Coimbra a not just a backdrop, but almost a central figure in the music videos.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And so you can be heard by our audience, which is really important. I don't know if that's improved for Rich at all. Gary's here. Gemini loves your story. That's a brilliant story of you being here. And T-Duck has a question for you, Christopher. Do you write both the music and the lyrics to your songs? T-Duck already a fan from the get-go. When we first played one of your videos, T-Duck, I think, got in touch with you. And because it's lovely to hear great music and to see you enjoying yourself. And it's lovely to see the Portuguese backdrop there. So yeah, is it your music and your lyrics?
Yes, it is. I want to give a shout out to T-Duck. Thanks, T-Duck, for the support. He's awesome. And yes, and normally what happens is I'll sit down with an instrument, a chordal instrument, so either piano or guitar, sometimes bass, because you could play some chordal ideas on bass, and I'm pretty comfortable with that instrument. So, and then I'll just sort of like hum some melodic ideas, and then I'll put an arrangement of the song together. So I'll have some chords, hum some ideas, I'll write some other chords, hum some ideas, put those together. How long should I hum this? How long should I hum that? And I really will have the whole song written and arranged. as if I could show up somewhere with a guitar and sing and play it. And
Okay.
that's usually when I work on the lyrics.
Yes, very good. Okay, so music first and then the lyrics come. So there you go, T Duck. I want to ask you as well about the Practice Warriors. Let's talk a bit more about that as well, because that's you're still operating that, aren't you? And being an incredible support, service, and inspiration to other musicians. That is going well by the sound of it.
Yeah, the thing that I noticed, Carl, is that when I would teach people one-on-one, when I was in Los Angeles, I was teaching people who were going on to like pretty massive careers in music. My former students have played with Rihanna, Jay-Z, 30 Seconds to Mars, Liz Phair.
Ooh.
I mean, like we're talking people who were going places, baby. They were going places, man. But when I was working with people in Florida, these were hobbyists. These were folks who just loved music. They were kids, teens, adults. And what I noticed, especially with the adults, is that they just didn't really know not only how to practice, like how long should I practice, how often should I practice, what should I practice, but I also noticed that they really just had a mindset that was very limiting. Like,
Mm.
well, I don't have talent, and oh, you're good, but I can't be good, and I'm too old, and I can't. And so I realized that there was a deficiency in music education in that there wasn't someone talking about how do you get the right mindset to believe that you actually can be quite good at
Yes.
music, and then what are the specific strategies to set yourself up to practice consistently and effectively, and then basically, as a result of that, have fun. I mean, if you think about it like this real quick, they say if you practice, you get better. But that's only two parts of a three-part triangle. If you practice, you get better. But what happens when you get better is that you have more fun playing.
Yes.
And when you have more fun playing, you practice more.
Yes.
You practice more, you get better, you have fun,
Yes.
it inspires you to practice more, and it just becomes this cycle. And so that's really, I wanted it almost to be like the Tony Robbins of music, to get people pumped about what their personal development can be, and then
Fantastic.
give them the tools to be able to implement that. And not only do we teach that stuff, but I also interview some of the best musicians in the world. In the bass world, we have, Victor Wooten that I interviewed. We have Alexis Sklarevsky, who ran the Bass Institute in Los Angeles. Steve Bailey, the bass chair in Berkeley. So we interview all these folks, and all we really talk about is how did they overcome their challenges with music and the advice that they could give people to overcome theirs.
Yeah, amazing. This is fantastic. The Tony Robbins of music tuition. Victor Lamont Wooten is number one, says T-Duck. T-Duck likes the bass and recognises the shout out there for Victor Lamont Wooten. This is superb. And I see you're offering a free trial if people want to get involved in that. And very timely, I think, because people retiring to Portugal are thinking, do I pick up my instrument again? Do I get back into music? So it would be a good time to do that. And you're there to give them plenty of support with that, Christopher.
Yes, and you know what? It's really anytime someone wants to get started, and the challenge is that people say, "Well, I'm too old. Well, I don't. I have a tin ear. I have sausage fingers. I'm not talented." They come up with all these excuses, and it's really like, look, everybody started from zero. We all started from the same spot.
Yep.
And if you're starting now, this is the perfect time. It wasn't then. And the reason why is because you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So now is the perfect time.
What a lovely encouragement. So do that, you musicians and would-be musicians. if you thought to yourself, yeah, when I get to Portugal, I'll get my bass out, I'll get my guitar out, I'll get back on the keys, I'll sing. Maybe do it and get a bit of encouragement. No, not maybe. Go ahead and do it and get some help from Christopher, who's here with us in Portugal now. And that's the place to go to get a free trial to Practice Warriors. That's the link for that. And you must also go for extra inspiration. Go to Christopher's YouTube channel there. Anything coming out in the next little while, Christopher? Because it is a sequential release, isn't it, of your recent material?
Yes, we've been releasing. So we released the album in mid-September, I believe September 18th, 20 years after the last one, which will never happen again. Will never happen again. We will have new music more. But yeah, we've been releasing them every Tuesday on YouTube, and we're on the 9th video now. So there's 2 more videos from the album, and then we'll have 2 additional videos that are performance videos of existing videos. So, for example, there's one song where I'm basically playing all the instruments, but then we cut away to me doing something and acting out something or whatever. Yeah. But it had occurred to me that those videos and the music are pretty cool, so people might enjoy just watching the performance element of it. Yes. So we'll have 2 performance videos that will follow. So it's 13 videos in all. That'll bring us up to about mid-December. And then right in the new year, I'll have 2 other series of videos. One will be the making of the videos. Great. So for each video, we'll show you all the behind-the-scenes insanity that I can imagine. Putting those together. And then for the 11 weeks after that, I'll have the writing of those songs. So I'll be here in the studio and I'll demonstrate step by step how I wrote and recorded the songs. Fantastic. Because a lot of people are interested in that too. So we'll be working this record for the next probably 5 months.
And then the next one, don't leave it so long next time. Fantastic. T-Duck, a fan of the videos. I think the videos, it looks like you've had so much fun making those. Debbie enjoyed being involved there. And we must talk about finally getting you across to the Silver Coast, because the cross-fertilization, I think, of what you're doing there and the amazing scene that's happening over here where me and Rich live would be wonderful. Do you have plans to tour and meet up with other musicians around the country?
One of the things that I was able to do quite quickly was meet up with some of the musicians here in Coimbra, especially the jazz musicians, because those are the folks that you could pretty quickly integrate. Yes, if you have that skill set. You don't have to learn any songs. You just jump on stage and here's a chart. Oh, let's fumble our way through this. So that's been really great. I do have designs on doing some type of live performance. Either through, Fnac has a whole bunch of stores. Yes. That could potentially be a Fnac tour. Or one of the things I was kind of thinking would be interesting would be to do an acoustic show, but while the videos are playing behind me. Yeah. So it's almost like you're watching the music videos, but I'm also playing to them live. So that's a concept that we could take around as well.
Wonderful, Christopher. And I'll mention all of this to Richard because he's not been Because he's not been able to hear any of that. We're going to work on that because you've been our first big musician interview, and it's been fantastic talking to you. So please keep in touch. Go on, Chris.
Tell Richard I can hear him, so tell him to be careful.
He can hear you, Rich.
I'm glad, Christopher. I would have loved to have listened to what you had said and punch you with a load of questions, but all I actually got during that whole interview was Carl chuckling 7 times, 2 oohs and an oh yeah. That's all I got for the whole thing. So awesome. What we do definitely need to work on is sound engineers. I think that's the secret.
I mean,
here.
the irony of this: two musicians, and we can't get a
Yeah.
decent, we can't get a decent interview going here. But
A radio professional, two musicians, and we can't get a link between two people on the internet to
was
listen to one
bound to
another. But anyway, well, I'm glad you could hear me. I obviously contributed a lot, as you could tell
Thanks,
during
Rich.
that interview.
Thank you, Rich. And my album of oohs and chuckles will be available for Christmas.
Oh, it's a winner. Everybody should have one.
Christopher, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm going to chat a little bit more with Rich now, but thanks for joining us, and please keep in touch. Let us know whenever music's coming out, and we'll make sure people know on this podcast and on this segment of the Good Morning Portugal show.
Oh, I couldn't be more grateful, Carl. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you very much.
Absolutely lovely to talk to you, and all the best. Love to Coimbra. Take care, mate. All the best. Ciao, ciao, and bye for now.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Cheers.
Ciao,
cheers.
ciao.
Right, there he goes. Well, that was a disaster, Rich, from an interview point of view. I urge you to watch the replay because it was great. You'd have loved it.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have.
Right. Okay. Well, we will work on that. We'll make sure that you can hear our guests because that could be quite useful, of course. And we've got a few more minutes to have a bit of a chat. Have you been over to Coimbra to see any gigs? Have you been to that part of the world for music?
Yes. I haven't been there that much, actually. I mean, obviously, the Fado is famous up there, and especially for the guys singing rather than the ladies generally.
Yes, true.
But no, the only band we saw then again was in Bar 1, which was a local, like, bit of a metal band, to be honest with you. And
Right.
but other than that, I've not seen anything else there.
Well, another big shout out this morning behind me. I'm going to my mirror image, the wrong side, but you can see this CD here. That's from Os Gatos, Ushside the Gatos, the guys, the ska band I mentioned from Randa de Corvo.
Yeah, very good.
I'm hoping I'll be able to see them at the Prohibition Bar at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Your list of upcoming gigs was absolutely fantastic. Anything to add to that? And certainly looking forward to more because this is up and running now, isn't it? We'll be doing this every month.
Yeah, that's correct. Next month we've got some logistical problems because I'm going to be sort of at stateside, so I think there might be some timing issues there.
Okay,
but we'll talk about that.
Oh,
but worst case,
over the Atlantic, right? Okay.
Yeah, worst case will be back in January, or I may get somebody potentially to stand in for me if that makes it easier. But we can talk about that, and we'll sort something out. No, I think I've gone through most of the things that are on now. I think the message is as last month, and as I'd like to say every month, and that is support live music. And not just music as well, to be honest with you. Support everything that's going on. We've got the Jam is on at the bar today, and there's a guy as well, perhaps worth a mention. His name's Basil. He plays a number of instruments, including the flute, but he's a street artist as well. And he goes out in Caldash between 7 and 8 at night and has a wonderful show. And he teaches circus to kids and adults alike. So it isn't just about music. It's supporting the arts, really, and live entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely right. Well said. Well said. A couple more things then. So I just wanted to let everyone know, the soul fans, soul funk and hip hop fans, Street Sounds Radio, our very own Gumper, Clive Gardner's got a new show that debuted this week, if you like that sort of music. There's an interesting link here. Mark Almond. Sadly, we lost Dave Ball in the last couple of weeks from Soft Cell. And Mark Almond, though, has a gaff in Sintra. I think he loves being here. And of all things, I'm thinking, is this going to be, sort of cutting edge rock publication or website that interviews him? No, it's Portugal Property Guides, a real estate company, talking to him about becoming inspired over here in the Sintra area, I think is where he's ended up. I think this is basically lifted from a Daily Mirror interview recently, but his time in Portuguese sticks has also helped him with his anxiety. Apparently, when I'm on stage, I'm a different person, but in real life, I keep myself to myself. So presumably when he's wandering around Sintra, he's able to do that to a greater extent than he might in his native UK or in the United States. The Cure headlining a Portuguese festival next year. Pixies' 40th anniversary show in Lisbon. These were some of the highlights. Sting and Counting Crows heading towards Portugal as well. And just in these last couple of days, what's been announced is David Byrne coming to Portugal. So let's have a quick look at this as well. David Byrne to perform in Portugal. This comes from the Portugal News that I'm reading this morning. Musician David Byrne, founding member of Talking Heads, returns to Portugal. I didn't realise he'd been before for a concert at the Cool Jazz Festival in Cascais. That's a big one. That Seal was there, I think, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're in July next year. So time to get tickets for that. Who is the Sky, released in September, be performing from that. Looks like in his lovely blue pajamas there. But you can always rely on David for some style on stage. According to promoter Live Experiences, David Byrne will perform at the festival on July the 14th, 2026. The show's program will include, in addition to new songs, classics from his solo career and with Talking Heads. The musician thus returns to the festival where he performed in 2018. So he was there in 2018. Interesting. For a concert, he must have liked it. He's coming back for a concert guided by the maestro of musical theatricality, David Byrne, a multidisciplinary artist whose career spans various fields between composing for dance and theatre. He wrote numerous books on music theory and memoirs of his life, in addition to participating in the world of cinema. He founded the Luaka Bop Publishing House, which played a crucial role in introducing South American and African artists to Western audiences, recalls the promoter. Tickets available now. Priced, do you think that's quite a modest price for a big gig and a big artist, from 40 to 65 euros? That's one of the benefits of being here, isn't it?
Yeah, I think generally the pricing for tickets is a lot better than
Yeah.
than it is in the UK, definitely, and perhaps even most of Northern Europe. I think
Yes.
the UK is particularly expensive. But you can get, you can get tickets. I mean, friends of ours, they're going to watch Mumford and Sons,
Yes.
and I think that they've got a private box, and only because that's the only thing that was left.
Really?
But I think those tickets were only €60 per person for a private box.
Have your own private box. That's fantastic.
So I mean, you'd never be able to see a band like that in the UK for that sort of money, and in that I'd be very surprised. So.
And why not? If for those of you who are watching Good Morning Portugal and our new monthly music segment celebrating live music here, why not come for a holiday which includes a gig of that kind? Wouldn't that be an amazing high point of your holiday? You'll have a great time here in Portugal, and to see a favourite band whilst you're here would be magical, I think.
Yeah, and I think some of the venues as well are gorgeous, like the Campo Bikini, things like that. They're all different. They're all unusual. A lot of outdoor venues, of course, as well here. So that's, again, the weather lends itself to that, which again in the UK and other parts of Northern Europe isn't really ideal, certainly in the winter months.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing, isn't it? You do see a lot of amazing kit out in the open air, and I'm thinking to myself, these folks are so trusting, aren't they? You'll see like lighting rigs, stage rigs, and then the PA setup, and it's like out in the open air, and you're thinking a flash thunderstorm could ruin all of this stuff. But Portuguese sound engineers seem to be quite trusting, or they know their weather.
Yeah, I think it's not Portugal, but it's funny you should say that. I was in Jerez recently in Spain, and they had a festival on there at the time, and they'd rigged up this beautiful stage, great sound stage, lighting, the whole thing. Had a number of quite big bands playing there. And then the thunderclouds rolled in very briefly. It was beautifully hot. I mean, it was only very, very brief. But out of nowhere, literally hundreds of people appeared, putting tarpaulins over everything. So there is a hidden a contingency plan, I think, in the background for this, because they must know that if something happens, these people will deal with it. And they did. And it rained, and then it went, and then it was beautiful again. So
it sounds like the Wimbledon, doesn't it? Where when all the kids run on
with the cover.
With the covers. Yeah. So they're obviously thinking about that, and we shouldn't worry too much. Another shout out here. Adam Ant still performing. 70 and was on stage, just spotted recently. I don't know if Adam and the Ants are coming to Portugal. We might need to invite them. And that's the thing. I think bands are very approachable now. If you're not seeing them in Portugal and you'd like to see them, we could get in touch with them together and invite them over and add them to this wonderful growing list of bands that are coming, our old favourites from back in the day who we're seeing again here in later life here in Portugal. So thanks, Rich. That's been so so much fun. It's always great, isn't it, talking about music? I'm sorry you couldn't hear Christopher very well. We will work on that and look forward to the coming months, and we'll figure out something for next month, and then we'll see you again in the new years. We look forward to a fantastic 2026 with all the music we've been talking about. Thanks, Rui, for joining us. I bet Rui has seen some amazing bands here as a Portuguese native. Who would you like to see, though, Rui, is the big question I'd like to know. Who would you like to see here in Portugal? And bom dia a todos from the coach. Feliz Quinta, late on parade today as a bad night's sleep. Sorry to hear that. However, I had a lovely dinner with Mrs. T last night. Give her our birthday best. Parabéns from all the Gumpers here. Now have a few gold stars. Well done on a lovely birthday dinner there for Leslie. So have a great day, both of you, and everybody watching this morning. And thanks, Rich, and thanks to Christopher as well. And we'll see you again soon, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Just remember, just a final point, if anybody knows of any bands that they follow or hear that are on and where they're on, do let us know, either via you or coming directly to me via WhatsApp.
Well said. And stick them up on this Portugal Club playlist where we're bringing everything together that we've talked about. Yeah, Rich, if you can send me your list, I'll add it there as well. All the best. Have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Cheers, Rich. All the best.
Cheers.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. And bye for now. Ciao, ciao.
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need